Hey everybody, Patty Ann here. I'm going to show you how I'm making my friend Levan, her mom, a birthday present. She's going to be 87 on Sunday. So I've already cut this out and I'll show you what it is in Cricut Design Space in just a minute and show you how I got it to work. Uh-oh, getting rid of an F. Uh-oh, something happened here. Got an error. Here it is. I need this F. Oh no, it's an L, sorry. For Lord. Lost the L for Lord. So I'm going to have to redo that one and I'll show you again how to do that. Sometimes I just get to going too fast on these things and not paying attention to what's being sucked up or picked up. Alright, so it looks like that's the only word that I messed up on. So let me get rid of these little dots and I'll show you again how to fix this. So this is not a lost cause at all. Now I'm going to weed out these pieces that I don't need. Sometimes it's hard to see. I don't know, maybe I should, well, I do have a light box. I should maybe get my light box out and use that and see if it helps me. I have a really bright overhead light on right here so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And I thought that would be enough, but sometimes just don't see well enough, I guess. Like right now I'm hacking away at that. Okay, here's the E, the middle part of the R. So here we go. Here's this. Now let me get out my transfer tape, transfer paper, and put it on here. Start kind of at one side and work my way over. Okay. Whoops, I see something else I forgot to get out were the little bits of the numbers and letters down here. And looks like I lost the word in too. But I didn't lose the I, the dot for the I. So I have several things I need to fix when I go back into Cricut Design Space. And again, I'll show you how to do that if you missed it on my last video. It's really easy to do. Nothing to panic over. And sometimes you just have to re-burnish these if they won't stick down when you want them to. And if you fold this back, kind of helps like this, so that you're kind of pressing with your fingers too as you're pulling back. I found that to be kind of helpful. Okay, very good. Get rid of this piece before I mess up. And let me pick out these letters that or these parts of these letters I don't need. And I shouldn't get my hands all over this because I get grease on it, oil from my fingers, and that will have an impact on the way it sticks. I really want to try not to get my fingers on the vinyl. Okay, there we go. Alright, so this is ready to put on now. I've just brushed it off. Now I'm going to try to judge this by my eye. I want it about 1/4 of an inch on all sides. Okay, that looks pretty good to me, so I'll start in the center and kind of work my way out to both sides. Okay, so remember I'm going to have to go back into Cricut Design Space and fix a few things. And that's really easy to do. I'll just keep burnishing this down for a little bit. Sometimes those little, uh-oh, there's another. I forgot the middle of the S. Hopefully I can still get that out in a moment. Let's see. Okay, that did very well. Now I want to get out the middle of that S if I can. And I can. It's not been on there long enough to really adhere. Now I'm going to use the back of this transfer paper where it's shiny, so I know this won't stick. And I'm just going to go over this and burnish it a little bit more, just to make sure everything's well down. It's not something you have to do, it's just a step I like to do. Okay, that looks really good. If there's parts of this that look a little bit odd, it's because my wood is not really totally flat. So there will be some wood grain look in this. But that's just the way it is going to be. And I like it. It's kind of rustic. Although the bad thing about it is Levan and her mom don't really go for rustic, I don't think. But anyway, so now what I have to do is I have to go in and fix these letters. So follow me over to Cricut Design Space and we'll work on that. Okay, I'm over here at Cricut Design Space and I have the design pulled back up. I'm going to click on it and then come over here to the lower right and click on contour. Okay, I'm going to go to hide all contours. And let's see, what I want to get is I want to get the L for Lord. Well, I can do that here, Lord. And I want to have that because I want that to cut out and that. And then I need the word I, or the word in. And then I also noticed I was missing these swooshes. Okay, so those are all the ones that I want. I do not want this big black box back here. So what I can do is find that over here and get rid of it. And I don't want the outline box either. So let's see, that would be, well, here we go. Boop. I don't want that. All right, that's what I want. So I want the L for Lord, these two swooshes, and the IN. And, uh-oh, one more thing I see I'm missing. Or am I? Let me go back. No, that's right, 26.4. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Make It. And I'll continue. Select my device. And again, I'll put it on Vinyl Premium, cut it, weed it, put it on my transfer. Okay, I've got it all on my transfer paper and it's ready to go. So I just need to line it up, and again, I better stand up. Okay, that looks pretty darn good to me. So I'm just gonna burnish that. I'm just gonna burnish these ones that I just put on, hopefully, because I don't want to mess with those other ones. Okay, and hopefully they'll stay on in perfectly. So like I said, that not all is lost whenever a letter doesn't come or you mess it up, because there it is. You would never even have known that I messed up one of those letters. So I'm really happy with this, and I think it'll be really cute. Like I said, Levan and her mother like some bling. Maybe I'll put those little hooks on the back and maybe some chain here, maybe even a pretty bow. I'm not exactly sure yet, but I will finish this up and give it to Levan's mom for her 87th birthday on Sunday. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I got the image that I used. I went to Images, and then I came up here to Categories. And see where it says New, Recently Added? Click on Recently Added, and I scrolled down. I just started scrolling down to look around, and I noticed a Bible verse here. And I know Levan's mom would really like one of those. So I went over here to the little I, and it told me the cartridge that's in. So I clicked on the cartridge, and then I just clicked on this one because I liked it, and I said Insert Image. So the next thing that I did was I measured my board, and I realized that my board measure that I have available 12 inches by 5.5. So I made a shape, a square, and I made this square like my board, so I colored it kind of a brown color for the wood. Actually, I did it that color. And I made it, what was it that I said, 12 inches? And I have to unlock this because it's going to make it a craziness. By 5.5. 0.5, I think it was. Okay, so that's my box. I'm going to right click on it and send it to the back. And now I can see that I can make my text a lot bigger, but that's how big my piece of wood is. Inside of that piece of wood, remember, I want to put that little tiny border like I had shown you yesterday, or if you look back at the image, you'll see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this one. And instead of it being 12 inches, I'm going to make it a 1/2 of an inch smaller because I want 1/4 of an inch on each side. So notice I unlock the lock and I'm going to make this 11.5 and hit enter. And I'm going to make the height the 1/2 of an inch smaller, so that would be 5. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to make this black just so we can keep track of what we're doing. Come up here and change it to black. So now you can see that would make a really nice border around it. But remember, I don't want a whole solid piece of vinyl. I just want a skinny border. So I need to make one more rectangle. I'm going to copy or duplicate this one. And I'm going to make it 1/4 inch smaller on the widths, both sides, and both sides of the height. So 1/4 here and 1/4 here is a 1/2 of an inch. So I'm going to make it a 1/2 an inch less wide. Unlock the lock. So that means it will be 11 inches wide, enter, times a 1/2 an inch smaller this way would be 4.5, enter. Okay, now, just if I want to, I can just take all 3 of these, hook them together, and then say align and center. But to be honest, I don't really need the wooden piece right now, so I'm going to hide it over here with the eyeball. And now I have these 2 here. You can't really tell there are 2 since they're the same color, but there are 2. I'm going to select them both. And since there are only 2 layers selected, there are 2 and only 2, I can slice. And now I can get rid of this middle part. I can get rid of that chunk. Look what I'm left with, this beautiful border, and I can bring back in my piece of wood by clicking on the eyeball over here. Perfect. Now I can bring this up here, and it's still in the front, and I can stretch it as best I can. Whoopsie, this is the crazy part. I keep doing that, and I wish it was easier to select the thing I wanted. See? Undo. So even if I come over here and select it, well, actually what I'll do is I'll hide that, and now I can select this easily and stretch it. And so I don't like all this blank space on the sides, so I am going to undo this lock on the text and stretch it this way. Looks fine to me. I'm going to put my border back in so I can see how that's going to look, if it's a good size, and not really, it's a little too big, isn't it? So let me click that text again. I need to hide that border again for some reason. And then I can select the text and move it in a bit and bring my border back in. And now I'm going to grab all 3 things and I'm going to say align, center. Okay, I'm liking that pretty well. The only thing I don't want to do is I don't want to cut this in different colors, although maybe I should have, but for mine I did not. So what I did was I hid these things, hid those, and then I believe what I can do is just do this, click on that and say weld, and we'll change it all to the same color. Of course I don't want it to be gold. But that doesn't matter because that just is determined by the vinyl I put on my mat. But since I didn't want it to be gold, I highlighted it and I came up here to where it said line style, changed it to black, and then I was good. I don't really need to weld this to this text because it's not really touching, so it's not going to be one piece. I can just attach it, and that attaches everything in the right spot on the mat. And there you go. So I can make this in one swoop, put it on my vinyl, and put it on my wood just as I showed you on my final product. And in case you're wondering, one last time, here is what the final project looks like. And I think it's turned out really, really cute. And I think my friend's mom, Levan's mom, will love it a lot. So thanks for joining me, you guys. If you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and share it. And I don't know what else to say, but I love you guys. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.